The Flamekeeper title is the newest seal to be added to Destiny 2. It's a really good way of showing off your event prowess to other Guardians all around the solar system. Now, we've only got 20 days to get through this hefty checklist of tasks, so if you want to get hold of this title before the event goes away on August the 9th, I recommend getting started right away. Well, today I'm going to run through all the triumphs needed for the new Solstice Flamekeeper title, plus give you some tips for how to complete them quickly, so you can show it off to all your fellow Guardians in the tower. Well, if you're new around here or find this useful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below for all the latest Destiny 2 content and turn on notifications by hitting that bell. With the arrival of Solstice 2022 comes the event card, and that can be accessed from either Levante or your quest tab. So run through the introduction quest mission for Solstice to get started. Once you finish that, go and get some kindling, and then you're ready to tackle that to-do list for that Flamekeeper title. You can always check your progress from the Triumphs tab, located next to your character customization screen, and then simply select the Flamekeeper title at the bottom. All of the requirements are laid out in front of you in the game, and you're going to need to play plenty of Bonfire Bash, but also get Guardian kills, complete public events, patrols, strikes, Nightfalls. You're going to need to do loads of strikes, and also Dares of Eternity, Crucible, and Gambit. You've basically got to play 25 Crucible or Gambit matches. Pretty much all the activities in the game are covered, plus you've got solar ability kills, hand cannon, shotgun kills. Solstice of Heroes has always been a bit of a grind, but Solstice may have stepped it up a level. One good piece of news is that you can already guild the title, and the title is going to make a return every year, and most seasons will have an event like Guardian Games, Festival of the Lost, The Dawning, making up our main seasonal events. There's also 4 additional challenges to complete if you want to guild that title, so 1 auto-completes when you finish the Sealed Triumphs, and then you have to complete a few more. Well, without further delay, let's dive into the Flamekeeper triumphs. But before we start, I do have some general tips. So try to use a shotgun and hand cannon from the start of the process. This is going to help you later on with the hand lighter and shotgun Solstice triumphs, which require kills with those weapons. Using them from the start of the process gives you a head start for the triumphs later on in the checklist, and doubling up where possible definitely speeds things up. When you need kills, try farming lost sectors and public events on the Throne World. This is going to help you double up with the weapon and location kills, and also you've got to do loads of Throne World activities for the final triumph, so if you could do that and start there, then that would probably be beneficial. So you've got a triumph specifically for public events, you've got a triumph specifically for patrols, so if you do those on the Throne World, that is going to double up on the Throne World activities. Well, let's dive into all of the triumphs now in a bit of detail. So first of all, we've got Bashing Success. Complete the Bonfire Bash activity. This one is nice and straightforward. You complete this during the tutorial with Eva Levante. So speak to Eva, pick up your armor set, and then complete the Bonfire Bash for this triumph. Next up, we got Good Ignite. So defeat 20 Ignition Carriers in Bonfire Bash. So Ignition Carriers are the mini-bosses in Bonfire Bash that have the glowing orb. So defeat 20 of them to complete this triumph, and this is likely to take a few runs. Well, next up we got Torch the Taken. So defeat 20 Taken in Bonfire Bash. So when you throw a few orbs into the bonfire, Taken are going to spawn at the edge of the map, and you want to make sure you defeat 20 of the glowing Taken to complete this challenge. So basically I was defeating Taken at the beginning of Bonfire Bash, and the counter wasn't going up. So make sure you pay attention when you throw those orbs into the bonfire and Taken spawn at the edge of the map. Get on your Sparrow or get there as quickly as possible and take out the yellow bar or the glowing Taken, and that is going to help you complete this triumph. Next up we got Fuel for the Fire. So stoke 50 flames in Bonfire Bash. You're going to want to throw 50 orbs into the bonfire to complete this triumph, likely to take a few runs of Bonfire Bash to keep going, and you get 50 after a few completions of that activity. Next up we got Ashtray. So collect 500 silver ash. So silver ash drops at the end of Bonfire Bash when you convert your silver leaves, so make sure you're wearing your Solstice armor to earn silver leaves by completing activities, and then head into Bonfire Bash to collect 500 silver ash. Next up we got All Around the Bonfire. So complete the Bonfire Bash activity against all combatant races twice. So when you load into Bonfire Bash, it is random to determine which enemy race you're going to face. You're going to need to defeat them all twice, so Cabal, Hive and Fallen. So you can always start and leave Bonfire Bash to get the enemy race that you want. if you're having trouble with getting the enemies that are given to you. So for example, I didn't have any trouble with Cabal or the Fallen. I was getting them all the time. I did have trouble with the Hive, but what I was doing, I was loading into Bonfire Bash. So you have to kill those taken at the start, but then get your enemy race to come in. And if it wasn't Hive, I'd leave Bonfire Bash and then just load back in. So hopefully that is a good tip for you. Well, next up we got Fuel the Fire 2, so stoke 100 flames in the Bonfire Bash. This is much like the original Fuel the Fire Triumph, only that you need to complete more. So throw as many orbs as possible into the bonfire and really focus this during Bonfire Bash to get it done as quickly as possible. And to complete this triumph, you need to throw 100 into the bonfire. Next up we got Fuel for the Fire 3, so stoke 150 flames into the Bonfire Bash. This is the same as before. You need to complete 150 orbs, so I'm not going to go through that again. Just throw 150 orbs into the bonfire to complete that triumph. Also, an added little benefit at the end of this one, you're going to get an exotic sparrow. Well, next up we got like WILDFIRE, so defeat targets anywhere in the system, and defeating guardians awards bonus progress. So this one is a bit of an odd one. It doesn't give you a target, so it's best to leave it until near the end, or you can always top it off if you haven't completed it by completing others at the Shuro-Chi location or the Altars of Sorrow, in anywhere where you normally like completing catalysts. PvP playlists are good for guardian kills, or Rumble if you want to get that additional progress, but I found by the end of the triumphs I'd actually completed it whilst doing all the others, so maybe it'd be the same for you, but if it doesn't, just top it up in a location where you complete catalysts, Shuro-Chi or Altars of Sorrow. That is really, really good. Well, next up we got PYROMANIA, so defeat combatants with solar abilities. So put on your best Solar 3.0 build. You can find loads of those on the channel for all classes and get those kills with abilities like charge melees and also grenades. Next up we have Superlatives, so roaming supers are really good for this triumph. Plus if you're a warlock then you're in luck, as weapon kills inside a Well of Radiance are going to count as super kills. Otherwise pick any long super and use elemental whelmers like Font of Wisdom to get more super energy back faster. Or you can put on more intellect on your build. That should help you generate super energy quicker. Now hunters should use Golden Gun with Deadshot with Ember of Combustion. Titans can use Hammers or Sentinel Shield with Doomfang Pauldrons. And warlocks should use Starfire Protocol with Well of Radiance. Well, next up we got Firepower, so defeat combatants or opposing guardians with power weapons. So Gambit is a great source of heavy ammo crates. So during each round the heavy ammo is going to respawn. Plus you've also got Dares of Eternity. There's a great source of infinite heavy ammo if you can get Star Horse's favour by completing the jumping puzzle before you get into encounters. Next up we got Forged in Flame, so defeat 100 opposing guardians in any activity. So Crucible is going to be your best bet here, so rotating playlists are good. Mayhem is best if it's available. Otherwise Rumble and Quick Play are going to be your fastest route to 100 kills. So if you don't like Crucible, stick with your teammates and copy what they're doing and try and get some team shooting in there if possible. Pulse rifles and scout rifles are good if you want to hang back. Next up we got Hand Lighter, so defeat targets with hand cannons. This one is nice and simple, just get hand cannon kills in any activity. Now when you're doing other triumphs, use a hand cannon. That's going to help you get progress to double up on objectives. Catalyst farming locations could be good here too. So Shuro-Chi in the Last Wish raid or Altars of Sorrow, given you've got infinite primary ammo. Just make sure to remember to use a hand cannon and you're going to get this done while you do the others. Next up we've got Shotgun Solstice, so defeat targets with shotguns. So this is the same as the previous one. Get shotgun kills in any activity. So again, use catalyst farming locations if you need to. Remember to use a shotgun from the start and you'll get this done faster by doubling up. Farming public events and lost sectors are also good. For example, on the EDZ, or also you can do them on the Throne World and Europa. Well, next up we got Raking the Coals, so complete playlist activities to earn silver leaves. So complete playlist activities like Vanguard Ops, Crucible and Gambit for this one. Each one will give you 4 silver leaves minimum. Witch Queen campaign missions are also good. Wear at least one piece of Solstice armor to get silver leaves. You're going to need somewhere between 5 and 10 between activity completions. Vanguard Ops or PV playlists are good, like Momentum Control or Mayhem. Next up we got Solstice Jubilee, so complete public events on any destination to earn silver leaves. The public events can be found in any location. They are indicated by a blue icon, so trigger the heroic public event and you're going to get 10% per activity completion, meaning you're going to need to do 10 heroic public events or more if you don't do the heroic version. So you can complete these on any planet and moon, but the EDZ has the most, but also double up with that Throne World activity completion. So try to complete them on the Throne World if you can. I know they don't spawn as regularly as the EDZ, but that's going to help you later on by doubling up your triumphs. Next up we got Lamplighter, so complete patrols on any destination to earn silver leaves. So simply complete patrols for this one, and again you're going to get 10% per patrol, meaning you need to complete 10 overall. The EDZ and Nessus have a lot of patrols that are quite simple, and ideally you want patrols where you've got to kill enemies and not the ones with scouting missions. So you can also do patrols at the same time as public events, so once again try to double up. So you can trigger a public event, pick up a patrol. If you're doing them on the Throne World at the same time, then you're going to be working towards 3 triumphs at the same time. Well, next up we got Dare to Dream, so complete runs of Blind Well or Dares of Eternity to earn silver leaves. So Blind Well is on the Dreaming City, and Dares of Eternity can be selected on the Director. So Dares of Eternity runs gives you 20% per activity completion, and are probably a little bit quicker than Blind Well, so I would run the Dares of Eternity. Doubling up on this triumph by doing the jumping puzzles and getting Star Horse's favour allows you also to double up on that power weapon kills triumph, which we went through earlier on. Well, next up we got BRIGHTFALL, so complete Vanguard Ops or Nightfalls to earn silver leaves. This is perhaps one of the most time-consuming triumphs. You're going to need to complete just over 10 Nightfalls, or somewhere between 10 and 15 strikes. You can make this easier and faster by running Adept Nightfalls, but this one is time-consuming, so stick on some music or a podcast or something you like listen to, and just get into a good rhythm. Next up we got Fires of Competition, so complete matches in Crucible or Gambit to earn silver leaves. So this is another time-consuming one. 25 Gambit matches or 25 Crucible matches. So grit your teeth, get stuck into it, and it won't take long to complete. Crucible is probably quicker than Gambit, so if you're conscious of time, I'd recommend running this activity. Although, if you really hate Crucible, then jump into Gambit. Although, do beware, that is a lot of Gambit. So something that might soften the blow, so it is double XP in Gambit this week. So if there was ever a good time to rank up with the Drifter, this week is probably a good time to do it. Plus, you can get that Flamekeeper title as well. Well, next up we've got a Spark in the Dark, so complete 7 missions or rounds of Altars of Sorrow to earn silver leaves. So 7 missions are from Season of the Haunted. Each mission gives you 20% progress, and the shortest one is Resolve, and there you can select that from the menu next to the moon. And if you don't have Season of the Haunted, then complete Altars of Sorrow, that is also on the moon. And finally, we've got In the Hot Seat, so complete activities within the Throne World to earn silver leaves. So complete any activity that counts towards this one. So if you've done all the rest, then farm lost sectors, patrols and public events on the Throne World. That's going to help you complete the final triumph nice and fast. Once you've done that, congratulations! You now are the proud owner of the Flamekeeper title, so you can put that on by going to your Triumphs tab, and you can show that off to all the other Guardians around the tower. But that is not all. You can also guild your Flamekeeper title in Destiny 2. So after you've completed your checklist for the Flamekeeper title, there are a couple of more challenges to do. Some of them are match made, so you are going to need to find a fire team for some of these. So first of all, from the ashes, upgrade 12 pieces of Candescent armor. And at first, I thought you had to do this on all of your characters. But actually, I think you can transfer armor from your alt to your main, and then you can trick the game into upgrading there. Next up, we've got Bonfire Dash, so fully stoke the bonfire in the Bonfire Bash activity. Then we've got Incandescent, so while wearing a full set of rekindled Candescent armor, complete dungeons, raids, Master or Grandmaster Nightfalls, or win rounds in Trials of Osiris. Personally, I went into the Duality dungeon, and I found this the quickest, but if you've got a regular team, you can also jump into a raid, or also Master and Grandmaster Nightfalls too. Finally, we've got Inextinguishable, so complete the Bonfire Bash activity without dying. That rounds out, that is going to gild your title. So congratulations, that is a whole load of work. You should sit back and be really, really proud of yourself. Well, let me know what you think of the Flamekeeper Seal grind, and also let me know what you think of Solstice overall. Well, that's it for this guide for how to get the Flamekeeper title in Destiny 2, and as always, thank you so much for watching. For more Destiny 2 content like this, hit that subscribe button down below and subscribe to This Week in Video Games. Or check me out on Twitter at TWIVG Podcast. If you enjoyed this video, found it useful, liking and sharing the video would really help me out. Otherwise, check out the other videos on the channel. Thanks again. I'll see you soon.